Hello and blessings to you. I'm Sharice N. Johnson Moore, and I'm so excited to welcome you to the very first issue of the More Connection audio newsletter. Yes, we've revamped, refreshed, and realigned our mission here at Sharice N. Johnson Moore LLC, and it's all about serving you more powerfully, more faithfully, and more impactfully. This weekly newsletter is your inside look at everything we're building, from our book, publishing, consulting, and media interview opportunities to faith-based business coaching, speaking engagements, and so much more. The More Connection is where faith meets business, purpose meets power, and your next level begins. So stay connected, stay inspired, and let's grow together spiritually, professionally, and creatively. I want to thank you for coming in and listening, and thank you for being here. Now let's rise together. Are you ready to rediscover who you are, to unlock a new level of self-worth and confidence? Coming to Loving Yourself by Sharice N. Johnson Moore is the book for you. This isn't just a book, it's a journey, a heartfelt guide crafted to help you embrace who you are, heal old wounds, and realize the power of self-love. Sharice N. Johnson Moore shares her own powerful story of transformation, inspiring readers with honesty and wisdom. Coming to Loving Yourself offers you the tools to build self-confidence, overcome life's challenges, and celebrate the incredible person you truly are. Imagine finally letting go of self-doubt and stepping into a life filled with purpose and joy. If you're ready to start loving yourself, this is the book for you. Get your copy of Coming to Loving Yourself today and start the journey that will transform your life. Available now on ShariceNJohnsonMoore.com or Barnes & Nobles and Amazon, because true success begins with loving yourself. We've revamped. Here's what's new at Sharice N. Johnson Moore LLC. Hello and blessings to you, family. It's your girl, Sharice N. Johnson Moore, and I've got some exciting news to share with you today. We've revamped, and it's all for you. Yes, we've refreshed, renewed, and realigned everything we do at Sharice N. Johnson Moore LLC, so that we can serve you more deeply, more faithfully, and more impactfully than ever before. Let me tell you what's new and available for you right now. Media interview services. If you're ready to share your story or promote your brand, then come on over and book your spot on the More Connection podcast or one of our dynamic shows. These interviews are all about helping you get seen, heard, and remembered in front of a powerful, faith-based, purpose-driven audience. Book publishing consultant. Got a manuscript or maybe just an idea? Whether you're starting fresh or putting the finishing touches on your book, I'm here to walk you through the publishing journey step by step. Let's turn your manuscript into a published masterpiece. Faith-based entrepreneurial consultations. Business and purpose can go hand in hand. If you need guidance on how to align your calling with your career, I offer one-on-one consultations to help you use faith as your foundation and build a business that honors both God and your gifts. Speaking events and singing engagements. I'm now accepting bookings for live and virtual speaking or singing events, for churches to conferences, retreats to expos. I'd be honored to pour into your audience with messages and music that uplift, inspire, and transform. So, stay connected. Sign up today. Want to stay in the loop with updates, events, exclusive opportunities, and podcast episodes? Then subscribe to the More Connection newsletter. It's packed with behind the scenes gems, faith meets business insights, and a whole lot of inspiration. Here's how you can do it. Head to the Contact Us section on my website, fill out your information, select the service you're interested in, click on Sign Up for Newsletter, hit the Contact Us button, and you're all set. And don't forget to tune into the More Connection podcast, now streaming on Spotify and other major platforms. We deep dive with impactful guests and inspiring conversations across three powerful segments: Faith and Ministry, Entrepreneur Corners, and Faith Times Business Fusion. Subscribe, follow, and share. Y'all thank you so much for walking this journey with me. With faith, strategy, and just a little bit of song, we are building something beautiful together. Let's grow together, let's heal together, and let's rise together. Until next time, stay blessed and keep shining. All right, talk to y'all again on the More Connection audio newsletter. Are you ready to rewrite the story you've been telling yourself? Introducing the Coming to Loving Yourself Study Guide to Building Your Self-Worth, a transformational workbook designed to help you silence self-doubt, confront the inner critic, and finally embrace the powerful, worthy woman you are. Inside, you'll find thought-provoking exercises, affirmations, and guided reflections to walk you step by step into a place of deeper love for yourself and confidence. Whether you're healing from past hurts or simply ready to grow, this study guide is your companion on the journey back to you. It's time to stop settling and start celebrating yourself. Grab your copy of Coming to Loving Yourself Study Guide to Building Your Self-Worth today. Available in paperback. Visit ShariceNJohnsonMoore.com to order now. Hello, everyone, and how is everyone doing today? So, you may be asking or wondering, what made me do this revamp? And I call it when God calls for a shift, embracing the divine redirection in your business. God has called me to do a shift. He has been giving me this idea for a shift for a while. And I don't want to give you the idea of I'm just doing it to be doing it. Since I have, come back from Atlanta and experienced some things in my life that I did not think I would experience again, it has given me lessons and blessings, right? And so with this, with that happening, I had to sit down and really talk with God. And God gave me this shift. He's giving me this shift because it spoke to my spirit directly, to get back to the basics at hand. When I first started my business, God gave me the idea of starting with my book, which is entitled Coming to Loving Yourself. And in that, in the beginning, I had started off with listening to God. And in a way, I had gotten off of being led by God in my business after a while. As I look back over the period of being 9 years, it'll be 9 years this month in July. And it'll be 9 years I've had this business. I created this business. And it started off great. It started off fine. It started off marvelous. And something happened during these 9 years. And what happened was, I think I lost my way. I was so busy looking at everybody else, looking at them, looking at what she, he, and they were doing, right? And I kind of lost my way. And I kept hearing in my spirit, it's time for you to get back to where you started from. What I mean by that, well, I started off with God, but in a way, I started to stray away from my calling He had put on my life for what direction He was taking my life. So, in that time frame, I'm getting back into my ministry. I gotten overwhelmed by what the world was doing. I had lost focus. I had lost charisma. I had lost my, your mojo, And with this, I had been hearing this for a while. It's time to get back to the basics. Go back to the beginning of where I started you. So with God calling me to do that, call me to this shift to get back to embracing my beginning, He calls me back into the embracing of the divine redirection in my business. So, with that, it is being God-led instead of being world-led. There is a difference. Instead of being world-led, being God-led is very important that I get back to my roots. So in this revamp, I want to help the faith-led entrepreneurs who are learning to move with God, not just with the trends, okay? This also helps me get back to my basics. Being faith-led entrepreneur, and so it just kept hitting me, and when God called for this shift, He gave me some remembrance of some things that I should have remembered. In Proverbs 3:5-6, He says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. And in all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy path. With this scripture, He reminds us that when God redirects us, it may not always make logical sense, but it will always lead to your purpose. I'm getting back into this shift, and it has been so important, and I'm getting back into letting Him lead me in my business, because I had for a moment there stopped listening, stop advising, stop having a conference with Him in my decisions about my business. And I think that's why some things did not go well in my business for a time period. But now there's a shift coming, And sometimes that shift may come through people, places, and things that show you where you may have gotten off track at. So, getting back into conversating with God, having a moment of clarity with Him, blocking out the world, and stop listening and doing and listening and doing to others, or what they're doing in their business, and concentrating on mine. As they say, staying in my lane. And sometimes that's what we have to do. We have to block out the world and what others are saying and doing, and keeping your eyes on Him. Keep your eyes on Him. In Isaiah 30 and 21, whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." Now, we were just talking about that, right? Listening and listening to the voice, the right voice. Listening to God's voice instead of human interaction. A divine shift requires spiritual sensitivity, getting back into really having discernment when you hear from God, making time for God, making a time for you to sit and absorb and truly listen. Turn off the TV, turn off cell phone, stop scrolling, and have a conversation with God, just you and Him, and He will tell you exactly what to do. God doesn't just give strategy, He gives direction step by step. So when He gave me this step of revamping my business, I listened. I listened to the understanding of you need to change your colors. You need to change your brand colors. You need to change your website. You need to change, if you're going to do this new thing, do it in glory. Do it for what God is asking you to change. And He had been bugging me for a long time about this changing stuff. But I was not listening. I wasn't listening to what He was telling me. He had been telling me to do this shit for a long time, y'all. But I just didn't want to. I didn't want to listen. I ain't want to listen, okay? So I had to take out the time and block out the world. If you ever noticed anything about me per se, you could tell some things were changing when I wasn't doing my programs every Sunday like I was doing, when I wasn't doing posting, when I wasn't on time for lives, when I wasn't I wasn't consistent, I wasn't doing the things that were required of me, and I was sitting and I was listening. That was the time I was listening. It's not that I didn't want to do the things. God says, start fresh. Every time I try to sit down and record something, sit down and put something together, He said, start over. That was the word. The word was, you need to start over. Need to go back to the basics. So I have been working on this transition for a while. And it called me to sit down and be still. Can't be moving around and going and doing this and that, running to and fro and not listening to God. Got to take our time to sit down and listen. And sometimes the stuff that you want to do and He telling you, no, don't do that right now. That's not what I want you to do. Listen. In Genesis 12:1, the Lord has said to Abram, go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. Just like Abraham, a shift often starts with obedience before full clarity. Trusting God's call is the first step in any business realignment. I had stopped consulting with God about what I should do. That's why I think my business was not doing what I wanted it to do, because it wasn't what God asked me to do. God show you things where you know when something is not working, when things that you do not get the response that you wanted to have, because it's something that you wanted to do and not what God asked you to do. Your posts, your lives, what you're doing is not getting a response. It's not getting the reaction you want, because that wasn't what God asked you to do. It's not getting the right people, because at that time, that's not who God called you to talk to. I'll just say that. That's another sign that something is off in your business. When things are not God's plans, and things don't happen the way you want them to happen, and you're being led by the carnal, you're being led by your flesh, and not by God's plan for what He asked you to do. And so, trusting God's call is the first step in any business realignment. It's taken me a long time to get back on track with what He asked me to do. I gotten off track. Romans 8:28, and we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are the called according to His purpose. Even unexpected or uncomfortable shifts are working together for your good and divine assignment. Oh my God, this one's so true. So, what got me into this shift of revamping this business was my Atlanta trip for that 9 months. When I stayed in Atlanta and I learned that faith without works is dead. Faith without works is dead. I experienced some uncomfortable moments. I experienced some uncomfortable feelings. I experienced some uncomfortable displacement. And it woke me up. I had to go through that experience, to go through that unexpected or uncomfortable moment in order to know, look, you got to get it together. You got to get it together and get back to your divine assignment that God has given you. And in that moment, it gave me, in them 9 months, it gave me some clarity that I didn't think I needed, but I did. And I got it. So, Ecclesiastes 3:1, to everything there is a season and a time, to every purpose under heaven. Shifts are seasonal. When God said it's time for a new thing, we must be willing to let go of the old structure and step into the new season. Yes. Step into the new season. Step into the new season. And let go of the old stuff you were holding on to, old relationships, old thought patterns, old mindsets, old just everything, just everything, just everything. And sometimes when we hold on to that old stuff, it can end up sabotaging us and derailing us. It can end up holding up the blessings God has for us because we're not being obedient. And having that moment of clarity and discernment. Let go of that old stuff, old structure. New seasons mean new ideas, new concepts, new thought processes, new everything. So in this new season, it's going to be interviews, the media interviews. It will be the speaking and singing engagements. It will be revamping. The revamped website is already out. Go and check it out, ShariceNJohnsonMoore.com. It will be some new offers, book publishing, consulting, and faith-based entrepreneurial consultations. And so with these offers, I hope that I give God glory in the new assignment and getting back into my ministry, getting back into my first loves, the newness that he brought after the 3 deaths. And he's bringing me back to that assignment he led me on with ministry. So, I hope you enjoyed this newsletter, the audio newsletter. Yes, this is something new too. The More Connection audio newsletter is new. And you will be getting this once a week on Mondays, okay, along with the More Connection newsletter itself and some other new programming that will come into play. And if you have not signed up for the More Connection newsletter, please click the link in the description box and get signed up today. Go check out the website. And if you have any questions for me, please do not hesitate to call me. Do not hesitate to DM me. Do not hesitate to email me, okay? So you can't say that you can't reach me, okay? You got no excuse for that, all right? So we can't use that. We can't use excuses in this new season now. Can't use no excuses. We got to keep it moving forward because that's the divine calling that God is asking us to do, is step out on faith. And faith without works is dead. Okay? So I love you all, and I hope that you enjoyed the More Connection, this new More Connection new audio newsletter. And I love you all, and everyone have a blessed day. All right? Talk to you next time on the More Connection audio newsletter. Bye, babies. What does it mean to stand up? It means rising through the pain. It means speaking when silence feels safer. It means walking in faith when fear is loud. Introducing Stand Up, Resilient Black Women Who Are Shaping the World with Their Faith, Volume 3. This powerful anthology, led by visionary author Ardenae Garner, features the unshakable voices of 16 trailblazing women, including Angela Connor, Carla Smith, Cindy Weathers Smith, Courtney Robinson, Cynthia Griffin Harris, Dr. Janae Bishop Nesbitt, Kim Renee Patterson, Ladidra Penn, Najami Lizama, Odelia Barfield, Sharice Johnson Moore, Sharon R. Capers, Tanisha Cameron Cole, Tanka Abbott, and Vicky Patterson. Each page is a testimony of triumph, faith over fear, resilience over resistance. This is more than a book, it's a movement. Order your copy of Stand Up Resilient Black Women Who Are Shaping the World with Their Faith, Volume 3 today. Available at ShariceNJohnsonMoore.com and get your copy today. Thank you for tuning in to the More Connection podcast, where we empower purpose, elevate voices, and keep God at the center of it all. If you love today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs this message. Want to be a guest or advertise with us? Visit ShariceNJohnsonMoore.com or check out the show notes for details. Until next time, keep the faith, keep building, and remember, your voice has power.